property valuation, investment guide, and the hottest listings in town.
Duplex in Highbrow Estate, 1 hectare just beside the main road, 3 bed in that neighborhood should be at that rate. And that is the price of selling as of this morning.
Join me, your host, one plot, and the biggest real estate and construction industry players, brands nationwide, an intersection of resource, marketing, and advocacy.
Thursdays, 10 to 10:30 a.m.
on Honor 103.5 FM. Your best offer yet.
For inquiries and advert bookings, call Shegun on 0915 757 0635
or Sam Awu on 007 77 74880. The Landlords on Honor 103.5 FM.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy.
You are listening to The Landlords, an intersection of marketing, resource, and advocacy for the real estate and building construction industries in Nigeria. For your brand promotions, ad placements, live appearances, and other inquiries, please contact 091-575-70635. 091-575-70635.
30 years ago, when that estate was built, was when they started building it. Some people that I have bought properties from, which I saw their receipt, bought land for 550,000 naira in that estate. The receipt of some houses I bought, I saw 550,000 naira. I saw 1.2 million for a land that I bought 360 million naira. I bought it over from the person, 1,200 and something square meter, after 30 years. Do you understand? If you put 1.2 million in any bank, after 30 years, will it give you 360 million? Never. It's not something that happens so easily. It comes with grace. It comes with consistency. It comes with readiness to serve. It's called land banking. Lands of 300,000 far back 30 years ago can be sold as much as 200 million. I put 5 million when I gave birth to Flourish, my first daughter, 2013. On her name in GT Bank, I've not gotten up to 6 million naira. The money has not added up to 6 million 13 years after. I can show you the balance on my phone. I've not put any money on top of that 5 million for her. Those 5 million I put, 13 years, that money has not reached 6 million naira. There are places you see land for 100,000 as of today. In P1 Max, we call, but anything that is too beautiful in this business is too beautiful to be true. Be very careful. If a land is so juicy, I've put my fingers too. The 698 million I told you I lost in Abuja was because the land was in a super location in Lugbe, opposite ShopRite, and it was available. And they were giving to me for 12 million per plot. I was selling 18 million initial. After 2 months, I changed to 20 million. I put fence immediately, put road, put everything, but it was too good to be true. I didn't know that the document they brought for me is true. It has C of O, but that document was for another land in another location. So I saw it, checked it in the ministry, it existed, but I never did what is called TTP. I didn't do that part. I just gave a lawyer to go and check. But I said, the document is in the ministry, it's good. I should go ahead and buy. I dropped 22 million naira initial payment. After I said paying 10 million as I'm getting money, only for me to find out 3-4 months down the line when government came with their bulldozers overnight, leveled everything. And the people that sold it and were still giving me hope that the land is there. It is people that are fighting them in the ministry. It's people that are fighting them. I still went in again with another money. Hey, it's going to destroy this after 2 months again. I kept on returning 80 million, 80 million, 80 million, 80 million, 22 million, 22 million to different people. Some of the people will not come out of that kind of problem. I'm a storyline for real estate.
When it comes to real estate investments, the land dimension of the real estate investments, we have the land developer. What do? They buy an expanse of land and they develop it, build terraces, build bungalows, build duplexes, and they sell to the public. So that's what the land developers, that's what they do. Then we have the land retailers. What do? The land retailers, they buy an expanse of land and they divide it into different plot sizes and they sell to the public. That is land retailer. Then we have the land bankers. The land bankers, what do? The land bankers, they buy an expanse of land and they leave it for the future, minimum of 5 years to appreciate. Mostly it is undeveloped location that they buy. Those are land bankers. Then we have the land aggregators. Some are similar to land bankers, but they are different. And the major difference is that a land aggregator buy in bits. Maybe you want to buy, let's say, 100 acres of land, but you don't have the money at once. You can start with just 1 acre and you aggregate it over time. That was what Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo did for Macarius. He aggregated the land over time. So he was able to accumulate it, and as of today, he is selling to the public. So that is a land aggregator. Then we'll have the last one, which is the land flipper. A land flipper is a short-term investor. He buys a land, now it could be a plot, it could be two, in order to resell between 1 to 5 years. I hope you have learned something. So we meet in our next video. Stay blessed.
You are listening to The Landlords, an intersection of marketing, resource, and advocacy for the real estate and building construction industries in Nigeria. For your brand promotions, ad placements, live appearances, and other inquiries, please contact 091-575-70635. 091-575-70635.
For us, actually, when we first started was actually to get people to believe in the product. I mean, people assumed, first of all, I was a woman. I was a black Zambian woman who had no experience in selling anything in this country, right? And so people were like, well, she's not going to be here tomorrow, so why take her product? And I'm sure a number of you have also had a lot of that, where people just assume that you're just doing this as a hobby, it's not serious, and that you're going to go away. And my answer to that is be consistent and say the part. Someone will give you a chance. And someone took a bet on us, and it changed everything for us. Just by one person believing in the product. But we knew, and this is a big issue for us as Zambians, that we had to consistently deliver, even if it meant making a loss.
What would you say was the biggest challenge this year for players in the construction industry?
Well, that's just a tip of the iceberg, and introduction, so to speak, of my interview with the MD Costin West Africa PLC, Ayodiji Karim, on our market review for the year 2024. We're doing our review in case you're just joining the Landlords. It's an intersection of marketing, resource, and advocacy for the built industry. My name is One Plot. You can catch the experts here on Q every Thursday to help you get a sense of what's happening in the built industry, whether it's Oyo State, whether it's Nigeria, globally. Sometimes we just give you a helicopter view of what's happening here and there. And in case you're looking to invest in real estate, this is where you should be. All the resource you need, all the market awareness you can garner right here for you on the Landlords. Like I said, we're our market review for the year, just trying to see how things unfolded this year, 2024, in the building industry, talking about the market space, whether it's real estate, whether it's building construction, whether it's the building materials market, all of that. We just try to see how the market's been this year, 2024. On the show today, I'll be bringing you playbacks of the review done by a town planner, TPO Alex Shewo, PhD, architect Timi Bankole, MD Costain West Africa PLC Ayodeji Karim, and architect Benjamin Ibidun, the PRO NIL State chapter, so that they can tell us how they think the things were in the market this year, 2024. Don't forget that as we approach the new year, we will also bring you an outlook, a market outlook for the year, for the new incoming year by the grace of God Almighty, right here on the Landlords. But before we proceed, let's look at what's happening here and here. The Lagos State Materials Testing Laboratory, LSMTL, has introduced an online registration portal to improve the testing processes for building materials in the state. This is in a bid to enhance efficiency, accuracy, and transparency in the quality assurance of construction materials. We hope that other states in Nigeria will follow this cue, as it will go a long way in addressing the challenges confronting building in Nigeria. Especially this menace of building collapse. We must find a way to resolve this. And with this idea, the Lagos State Materials Testing Laboratory, LSMTL, if we can have something like that in your state, in Osun State, in the FCT, all over the country, I'm sure that there'll be a lot to gain from this. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors is set to unveil a cost data bank aimed at improving project decision making. The NIQS president, Ken Nzekwe, announced this at a press conference held ahead of its annual general meeting. It is expected that the data bank will serve as a critical tool for the benchmarking of capital projects across capital project costs across the construction sector. Meanwhile, talking about real estate, the rising inflation, contentious compensation disputes, and frequent demolitions have been listed among the key obstacles hindering Nigeria's real estate market from achieving its projected valuation of $2.42 trillion by the end of this year, 2024. Key reforms, such as the ones by the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, raising the base interest rate alongside the removal of oil subsidy, which adversely affected the cost of petroleum and building materials. All of this put together is said to have hindered the real estate sector from achieving its full potential this year. So we got talking with experts in the industry, especially those who have their businesses across the southwest, to tell us what they feel the challenges were in the market, the takeaway for the year. We started this a couple of weeks ago, and we're continuing today. We'll do this, like I said, till the most part of December by by the grace of God Almighty. So make sure you stay here with Honor 103.5 FM to get the market, see how the market did this year, or how the market is doing this year, 2024. But you know what? We're going to pick some bills. When we come back, we'll get into our market review for the year 2024 on the Landlords. Don't go away.
On the 103.5 FM.
Do you need a reliable and super fast unlimited internet for your business and home use? If yes, iWorld Networks is your solution with our uptime affordable internet via fixed broadband. No data caps and throttling. You can enjoy your distance learning, business meetings, and family time with our reliable internet. With 24/7 proactive customer support and 99.8% uptime. We also provide connectivity for offices, schools, financial services, hotels, government, etc. Chat with us on www.iwn.ng. iWorld Networks, we've got you covered. Sign up and get connected today.
ẹ̀ ń jàrọ̀kọ̀ àti ra fọ́níṣọ̀ tí ó gbé wa ilé yín jáde ní ṣòǹdẹ̀ ó wá ṣe yín ní àhín kámikàmikàmi ẹ má làágùn jìnnà mọ́ Mr Johnson furniture ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ tààrà orírun àwọn àgbàyanu fọ́níṣọ̀ tá a kó wọlé látòkè òkun fún inú ilé àti ọ́fíìsì báwo lẹ ṣe ń fẹ́ sí dòmùdòmù sofas lóríṣiríṣi dining set amóúnjẹwò ní jẹ tó fi máwọn bed furniture bíi tàwọn lọ́lá pẹ̀lú oríṣiríṣi office cabinet.
External and internal door, Teodori chandelier, wall breaker, and many other light fittings. Royal and contemporary home furniture.
Àti corporate furniture bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń fẹ́ bíbá ló wà lẹ̀ ní Mr Johnson furniture. Seeing is believing. Visit Mr Johnson furniture and interior decoration today for quality home and office furniture, and you will be glad you did. Mr Johnson furniture is located right inside Suite 1, Dogafat Filling Station, Elewure Junction, Akala Expressway, New Garage, Ibadan. Telephone 0904-453-0230, 0904-453-0230. Mr. Johnson Furniture, the home of quality furniture.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be swept away as we usher in the majestic 21st edition of Miss Oyo State 2024.
Are you graced with both beauty and the brains? Do you dare of becoming a true beauty queen? Listen closely to what awaits.
The Miss Oyo State Beauty Pageant 2024 is about to set the stage ablaze in the heart of the city this December the 22nd at Felicia Hall, Jogger Center. Time 2 p.m. The host with the most, the irresistible Isaac Brown, the mayor.
Star Prize is an official car by Ilaji Hotels and Sports Resorts. Miss Oyo competition forms now available at Fresh FM Ibadan Marketing Department, or please call 0803 717 8043.
Miss Oyo State 2024 live on Sunday, the 22nd of December at Felicia Hall, Jogger Center, Ibadan. Time 2 p.m. prompt.
Gate fees 2,000 naira regular, 15,000 naira front row seats, 200,000 naira gold ticket, 500,000 naira platinum ticket.
Media partners Fresh FM Nigeria and Blast FM 98.3 Ibadan. Proudly supported by
Ilaji Hotels and Sports Resorts,
Coca-Cola,
Oyo Algon,
Foodco,
Ripples Catering Services,
UI Hotels,
Jogo Center and Hotels, Ultima Foods,
Doopsy Agbeni Stores,
You Feet Fly,
Melody Trades, Sounds Trends, and lots more. Miss Oyo State 2024.
On the 103.5 FM.
You are listening to The Landords, an intersection of marketing, resource, and advocacy for the real estate and building construction industries in Nigeria. For your brand promotions, ad placements, live appearances, and other inquiries, please contact 091-575-70635. 091-575-70635.
Yes, indeed, you are at the intersection of marketing, research, and advocacy for the built industry. But we're big on real estate. Well, there's really nothing one can do without consistency. Consistency is the trend that will take you there. Even in real estate, you got to know how to invest and hold on. Invest and hold on. Well, regardless of what the experts will tell you about how the market performed this year, 2024, I can tell you that there's been growth in the real estate sector, especially. I just went back to check a couple of days ago about what the rate for land now across the road and route to Ishain from Ibadan. That's a lot. Talking about the Moni Ajayi Express Road. And there's been an increment of, I think, about 100% in the cost. You know, that's just in 1 year alone. It's still the best way to hold value. So if you're investing and you're not yet investing in real estate, you've got one more T to cross. I tell you that. And we're here right to bring you all of the information you need to help you make the right investment. We're doing our market review for the year, the built industry. From real estate to building construction, what have you. And like I said, I got reviews by a town planner of repute, TPL Alex Shewo, PhD, architect Timi Bankole, and the PRO NIA, Oyo State architect Benjamin Ibidun. But before we bring you all that, let's hear this. I sat down with the managing director of one of the biggest construction companies in West Africa. Yes, I can tell you that. That's Costain West Africa PLC, Ayodeji Karim, to get a sense of, how the market performed this year, 2024. We talked about a host of issues, from the challenges to the new, shall I say, emerging market trends, takeaways, and the best performing segment, if that's right. I mean, the segment of the market, real estate market, that saw the most profit this year. Here comes. Take it away. What would you say was the biggest challenge this year for players in the construction industry?
One of the biggest challenges would be people not having access to cheap funding like mortgages, etc. Everyone wants to invest. Everyone needs a home, but the availability of credit is not there, and the mortgages are not necessarily available, and a lot of people are seriously out of work. So that needs to reverse.
What are your thoughts on the issue of substandard building materials?
Substandard materials has to do with a lot of the importers. Where most of these materials are produced in China, they have grades 1 to 10. The suppliers will promise you grade 8, but realistically, what you're getting is grade 3, and you're paying for grade 8. So yeah, it is very important that you know your material well, and you know the quality that you're getting. And if you're doing affordable homes, you don't necessarily need to do high-end sort of like finishing materials, for example. But in terms of the first fixes like pipes, the concrete for foundation, etc., those ones are local materials. So yeah, you can control that locally. Only the import element that you don't have control over. So you just have to be have eye for details, eye for quality, for you to be able to achieve that.
Would you say there was visible improvement with the availability of skilled labor in construction this year?
Skilled labor has always been available. It's just a function of cost. So if you want a very cheap roadside kind of construction laborer or labor, you get that. So what I always say is that you get what you pay for. If you want the high end sort of like labor, you pay for it. If you want the medium and the low end, so it's entirely up to you where you want to be in that market.
Retailers in the building materials market believe that hyperinflation is now forcing Nigerians to consider locally manufactured materials for their construction. What's your take on this?
Well, I think the time is right, and the time is now for us to start looking inwards. There are a lot of ways in which construction can be made, especially if you're doing low to medium end construction. Looking at locally produced, locally manufactured products. I'll give you an example. I know in Nigeria we have roofing materials being produced, ceiling materials being made locally, blocks, sand, granite, even iron is made locally. So why do we have to, including tiles, taps, sanitary wares, all these things are now produced, made and produced locally. And if you can build almost 100% now without having to import anything. So even if you have to do even cables, electrical cables and panels are made locally. So yes, we can control the cost and then improve. What we have to do is send our specification to the manufacturer. They produce to our standard and quality, and then we can then run. We don't necessarily need to look at overseas all the time when we're doing home builds any longer. If you're doing high end where you have to import all year, then it's understandable. Even as finishing materials from MDFs, HDFs, wood, it's all made locally. We have companies who have machinery and the skill to be able to produce quality product, quality doors, for example, wardrobes, kitchens. Yes, granite, granite, marble, all local product. I think the difference is the machining of this product, making it come out looking and able to compete with international standards. So we need to up the game a little bit and up the standard.
How profitable would you say the real estate market was this year on a scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1 to 10, I think the real estate market is all fairly dependent on what the economy is saying. Scale 1 to 10, I think is about 3. The most thriving part is the land banking part of real estate. The actual buying and investing in the property has slowed down a bit because of what the economy is saying. But once there's a turnaround in the economy, surely we would have a little bit more improvement. I think from scale 1 to 10, I would say it's about 3.
Well, you just talked about that a little, but what segment of the real estate market has the biggest earnings this year, in your opinion, as an investor yourself?
As I said before, the land banking sector of real estate is the one that's making waves at the moment. Everyone has seen the expansion that's coming into the country, the rail, the road, which means the integrated transport system is a lot easier. So you don't necessarily have to live in the city for you to be able to get to work. So if you work in the city and you want to live in the outskirts, then with the new transportation system being done by the federal government, the road, the rail, yeah, it's easier to actually transport yourself into the city and back safely. So the land banking part of that, people are buying on the outskirts of the city, then commuting into town. So yes, transportation is making it easier for people to land bank at the moment, with the hope that once the economy improves, then they will start their construction or build.
You wear many hats, but let's talk about Winchester Group. So what's
You are listening to The Landords, an intersection of marketing, resource, and advocacy for the real estate and building construction industries in Nigeria. For your brand promotions, ad placements, live appearances, and other inquiries, please contact 091-575-70635. 091-575-70635.
Well, you heard it yourself from someone who should know. The best segment to invest in right now, if you're thinking of investing in real estate, is land banking. And there are so many land banks or land banking locations across Oyo State. Oyo State, the real estate sector here in the state is booming. I tell you that, with investors coming in from different parts of the country, from Lagos, even from the north, So if you're a resident here and you are here to invest in land banking, which is about the cheapest form of real estate investment that one can think of, then I wonder what you're still waiting for. The return on investment is impressive, from 70 to over 100% sometimes. So make sure you get on the phone now, speak with your realtor, or ask where the hotbeds are. They know the locations for the land banking, which is what a lot of people are doing now. Doesn't really cost you much. Do your due diligence, and then you can hold value for a couple of years and trade it in, just like they do. So hotbeds, land banks, the hotbeds for land banking in Oyo State. You want to be thinking of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. You want to be thinking of Moniya Ijayi. You want to be thinking of Olodo, and a few other places. I am sure that you can still find considerably, by the time you spend 5 to 10 million or thereabout, you should have good investment on your hands. So there you have it. The managing director, Costain West Africa PLC, who's also the founder of Winchester Group. We're going to talk about that, but hopefully in the coming weeks we'll get to hear what he's doing with the company, some of their new, some addition to their portfolio and all of that. But he just did a market review for the year 2024, telling us about the challenges, the trends, and of course the most profitable segment of the real estate market this year, which happens to be, I think everybody will easily agree with that, land banking. Talking about Ayodeji Karim right here on our 2024 market review. I'm One Plot. This is the intersection of marketing, resource, and advocacy. We've got some beautiful things up our sleeves as we end the year 2024, and by the grace of God Almighty, enter into another beautiful brand new year. So make sure you stay here with us if you're interested in anything that has to do with the beauty industry. This is where you should be. Now let's bring you more review, more market review, trying to bring you different perspectives. This time, TPL Alex Shewo, PhD, will tell us, from a town planner's point of view, how the market behaved this year, 2024.
Well, as a town planner, what improvement do we have here? Even the improvement will sound as if sound like a negativity, because the basic need of life has to do with the food, clothing, shelter. So most people presently prefer, just scouting for food, and they forget about the clothing and shelter. Of course, you have to eat before you consider food, and then before you consider shelter. So the question will be that, has this one been able to affect or improve the environment? Yes, because it has reduced the number of uncoordinated building around. Not many people can build, not many people can construct a building any longer. So it's one way or the other, it has helped to regulate the environment. Yeah, as per new market trend, somehow the inflation has also helped to promote local goods. For example, people are searching and looking for alternative way to imported building material. I have seen people going back to mud building. What they do is just to modify it, add little cement. Seeing people using palm tree, as log. I met with a man who told me that he was able to install his own roof because he used palm tree as log, and that was very, very cheap for him. So sourcing for local material has been the new trend. As per the most profitable aspect of the market, well, I would say the estate agent, I think they are the one enjoying this trend, because generally now housing is so expensive. To get a 3-bedroom flat in Ibadan now is well over $1 million. And the percentage of those agents also goes up, with it. And I wouldn't know. It sounds selfish, but the truth is that the agents are the one profiting from the whole thing. I may be wrong, but that is just my opinion. Yeah, biggest challenges this year. One of the biggest challenges this year has been this inflation, the problem of inflation, skyrocketing pricing of building materials. This has been terrible. Except you are probably extremely rich, it will be difficult to embark on the housing construction now. You see, because I am sure that if you are buying cement for 4,000 about 10 months ago, now cement should be around 10,000. This doesn't make sense. It has been, it's challenging. Not many people, most people cannot afford it. Cannot afford cement, cannot afford the iron rod, cannot afford logging. Even the labor, everything is expensive. They are expensive because of the policy, the government policy of subsidy removal and floating dollars. This has bounced back on everybody, affecting the housing industry in a way that one cannot quantify it. Well, as for key takeaway for this year, I want to say this, that this is an advice for myself and for the listener at home, that when you have the means to do anything, do it as soon as possible. You see, procrastination could be a problem, stealing of time. The a 3-bedroom that you will store about 5, 6, 7 years ago for 3 million will cost you close to 21 million naira presently now. And for salary earners, the difference between what they collect 6 years ago and what they collect now, I mean, is insignificant. I mean, there's no difference between what they collect 6 years ago and what they collect today. So for civil servants and for the majority of the people out there, to build a house now will be very, very difficult. It will be so. The takeaway, the basic takeaway is that whatever you have to do it as quickly as possible.
Thank you too, TPL Alex Shewo. Whatever you have to do it now. Whatever you have to do it now. Things are just. Someone was telling me how they were, procrastinating about investing in a business last year. I think to get the list of the machines at the time was just a little above 2 or 3 million naira. And he went around, just thinking he could take his time. And by the time he got around to concluding that, okay, I want to invest now, it's already doubled the price for the lease of the machines. So what he'll be spending now to invest now in, say he needs like 5 machines, in the list, the most expensive initially is now the cheapest. I mean, in terms of cost, if you understand what I'm saying. So things are changing. Well, changing rapidly. So if you want to invest, now is the time to get on with it. That's TPL Alex Shewo, PhD, doing his review of the build marketplace, if I may, for the year 2024, talking to the challenges, the trends, and the takeaways for the year 2024. But he believes that the estate agents had it better than others in the marketplace this year. Let's get more review right here on the Landlords, an intersection of marketing, resource, and advocacy for the built industry. One Plot is my name, don't forget that. And you can catch the Landlords, and they are the ones that we're bringing to your hearing now. Let's get an architect's point of view. Is the PRO State chapter, Benjamin Ibidun, second time around on the Landlords with his market review for the year 2024.
Beautiful morning to our listeners out there. My name is Architect Benjamin Ibidun, the PRO Nigerian Institute of Architects Oyo State chapter. We have an interesting topic before us, and that is for us to review the real estate market for the year. And you will agree with me that there are quite a number of important views if we need to review the real estate market. And one of the biggest challenges is the fact that we had a lot of inflation and high material costs. The cost of building materials like cement, steel, and tiles significantly increased due to inflation and fluctuating exchange rates. And this actually led to project delays and higher construction costs. Let's even take a critical look at the situation that we are familiar with in Oyo State, and that has to do with land disputes and ownership issues. Persistent disputes over land titles and ownership also slowed down development projects and deterred investors. We had also part of the challenges that with the developers and builders faced in this year 2024. We had issues with limited access to financing. Many developers struggle to secure affordable financing due to high interest rates and stringent loan requirements from financial institutions. Look at our infrastructure deficiencies. Insufficient access to utilities like roads, electricity, and water supply in some parts of Oyo State created bottlenecks for new developments. But good enough, we noticed that the Oyo State government is working towards putting this in shape. We also had this issue of labor shortages, skilled labor shortages due to migration to urban centers, and other industries impacted project timelines. Now, these are some of the challenges I've just mentioned, but we also need to mention the improvement in the sector. And some of the improvement in the sector has to do with the government policies and investments. Initiatives like improved land registration process and investments in infrastructure in areas like Ibadan and neighboring towns enhanced ease of doing business. This has really helped a great deal. Look at also the increased private sector participation. More private partnerships in urban housing development and commercial spaces helped bridge the housing gap. We also have the adoption of technology like prefabrication and drone surveys to optimize time and resource usage. These are some of the areas where we experienced improvement in the sector. We also experienced a surge in platforms offering property listings, and virtual tours made property transactions smoother and more transparent. Let's also address the new market trends. The new market trends have to do with mixed use development, projects that integrate residential, retail, and recreational spaces became increasingly popular, catering to urban dwellers. And we also have demand for affordable housing. The middle income market drove demand for affordable, smaller units in growing suburbs like Akobo and Oluyole. We also have developers that began exploring sustainable construction practices, especially in high-end developments. Let's talk about most profitable segments of the market. Some of the most profitable segments of the market has to do with commercial real estate. Real estate, the retail outlets, office spaces, and warehousing projects were among the highest growing investments, particularly in high traffic locations. Properties in premium areas like Bodija, Jericho, and Alalubosa delivered high returns. Look at the area of land banking. Investors continue to profit from acquiring and holding lands in growth corridors like Moniya and Ologweru. Let's also look at the student housing. Close proximity to universities like the University of Ibadan drove consistent demand for students' accommodations. We all have some in other institutions, and there's quite progress in these areas. Now let's look at the key takeaways for the year that we are reviewing. Some of these key takeaways has to do with economic volatility. Developers need to diversify their portfolios to hedge against economic uncertainties. We have focus on infrastructure and services. Real estate developers with improved access to infrastructure remain more attractive to buyers and renters. Let's also know that affordability is key. Affordable housing holds untapped potential with a growing middle income population seeking smaller budget friendly homes. And in conclusion, I would like to mention that properties in growth corridors and areas undergoing rapid urbanization will yield better returns when we look at the key takeaways for the year that we are reviewing. We have quite a number of progress recorded, even though we had some of the challenges as I've earlier mentioned. But at least we can say of a truth that we are no longer where we used to be. There is progress, and I believe that we'll continue to make this progress in the built environment and in the industry. Thank you very much.
Well. Challenges in the aspects of construction projects, housing particularly. He cited land disputes, lack of adequate supporting infrastructure, and all of that. Benjamin Ibidun, PRO, NIA, Oyo State. Thank you so much for your resources. As always, we appreciate you. A lot to take away from your market review. He also talked about the improvements, and I agree with him. That's the use of tech in construction and real estate marketing. If you're doing any kind of real estate marketing now and you're not considering tech, digital marketing, social media, all of that, then you might just have a few more things to consider, because I can tell you for a fact that the biggest investment in real estate this year came from diaspora. Nigerians in the abroad, like they say, abroad are the ones investing back home. Nigerians abroad. So all of the monies coming in from the UK, from the US, from Canada should count for about 65 to 70% of investment in real estate, whether it's land banking or the housing market or whatever it is. So the use of tech in construction and real estate marketing communications, these are improvements that you can't deny this year, 2024. The market trends, he talked about recreation, affordable housing. If you're doing any kind of housing and it's not affordable, then he talked about the profitable segments: commercial real estate, warehousing, office, land banking, student housing had the biggest demand this year, according to architect Benjamin Ibidun. He should know. He's on the field out there. The Landlords on the airwaves of Honor 103.5 on the FM radio edition with yours truly, One Plot. We've always, right at about any time you tune into the Landlords, you can catch the very best of what the industry has to offer. Don't forget land banking. If you're thinking of real estate, you don't have much money to invest just as of yet, think land banking. Talk to your realtor or come to Honor 103.5 on the FM. Ask to speak with Sama, ask to speak with the Landlords, with One Plot, the Landlords. I'm sure there are so many offers that will be just what you need, regardless of what your budget is. Come to the Landlords, come to Honor, I beg your pardon, Honor 103.5 on the FM, right here on Kongi Street. Ask to speak with Samawu, is the executive producer of the show, and any or all of your real estate inquiries, just put before him. I'm sure he'll be able to advise you, or just ask to speak with yours truly, One Plot, and I could be part of that meeting and we'll point you in the right direction. We've got more coming in terms of our built marketplace review for the year 2024. This is how we do it every year end, and this year is not an exception. By the grace of God Almighty, we thank him for the gift of life and the opportunity to be able to do this with you. I've got one more review on Q. He is my favorite architect of the year. He's young, he's brilliant, he's humble, an architect that certainly knows his onions. Talking about architect Timmy Bankole, he's going to be doing a little bit of review for us, but before then, this might just inspire you a little to want to do, put your money in real estate. I'll be right back after
30
this.
years ago, when that estate was built, was when they started building it. Some people that I have bought properties from, which I saw their receipts, bought land for 550,000 naira in that estate. The receipt of some houses I bought, I saw 550,000 naira. I saw 1.2 million for a land that I bought 360 million naira. I bought it over from the person, 1,200 and something square meter, after 30 years. Do you understand? If you put 1.2 million in any bank, after 30 years, will it give you 360 million? Never. It's not something that happens so easily. It comes with grace. It comes with consistency. It comes with readiness to serve. It's called land banking. Lands of 300,000 far back 30 years ago can be sold as much as 200 million. I put 5 million when I gave birth to Flourish, my first daughter, 2013. On her name in GT Bank, I've not gotten up to 6 million naira. The money has not added up to 6 million 13 years after. I can show you the balance on my phone. I've not put any money on top of that 5 million for her. Those 5 million I put, 13 years, that money have not reached 6 million naira. There are places you see land for 100,000 as at today. In P1 Max, we call our own land banking Max Trade. But anything that is too beautiful in this business is too beautiful to be true. Be very careful. If a land is so juicy, I've put my fingers too. The 608 million I told you I lost in Abuja was because the land was in a super location in Lugbe, opposite ShopRite, and it was available. And they were giving to me for 12 million per plot. I was selling 18 million initial. After 2 months, I changed to 20 million. I put fence immediately, put road, put everything, but it was too good to be true. I didn't know that the document they brought for me is true. It has C of O, but that document was for another land in another location. So I saw it, checked it in the ministry, it existed, but I never did what is called TTP. I didn't do that part. I just gave a lawyer to go and check. So I said, the document is in the ministry, it's good. I should go ahead and buy. I dropped 22 million naira initial payment. After I said paying 10 million as I'm getting money, only for me to find out 3-4 months down the line when government came with their bulldozers overnight, leveled everything. And the people that sold it were still giving me hope that the land is there. It is people that are fighting them in the ministry. It's people that are fighting them. I still went in again with another money. Hey, it's going to destroy this after 2 months again. I kept on returning 80 million, 80 million, 80 million, 80 million, 22 million, 22 to different people. Some of the people will not come out of that kind of problem. I'm a story line for real estate.
Well, that's on the flip side or on the other side of the coin. But you want to be, what you need is the right side of the coin. And that's why you've got to speak with the experts. Make sure you're speaking with the landlords for all of that and much more concerning your real estate needs. I've told you where to get your info from. Okay, well, land banking, it is the easiest. I remember someone who bought a piece of VGC for less than 500k. You know, this is a real life story. They went abroad. This person traveled abroad and just came back. After their sojourn abroad, they got back to the country and I remember buying something. Do I still have the document? Let me see if I can bring it out. They found it and started to make inquiries. What you know, at the time she sold just one plot for around, I think, around 400 million. Around 400 million, something she bought for less than 500k. So it's like that now. You hear people talking about Money Ajayi, talking about the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. You can still get a plot of land. I think that the developers are selling for less than 4-5 million now, if that's what you want to buy. And you can also buy directly from the sources. I won't talk about that here. You know, so it's you should think of investing in land banking. 1 million today has the attitude of just 100,000 naira. I mean, you have 1 million. You can try. Just go to the bank, withdraw 1 million, keep it with